Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Film and TV channel. We're going over to Channel 5 today here in the UK. Yes, we're going to have a look at a 3-episode drama, a historical drama, back in time, period drama. And we're going to look at something called Anne Boleyn. Please, if you're new to the channel, please push that subscribe button. Push the bell notification so you know when these vlogs come out. And there'll be various links on the screen for Facebook and Twitter. Also a little website I've got for DVDs and posters, and there will be some football stuff going on there as well in the near future. So, but at the moment it's sort of in transition, but there's loads of stuff on there if you fancy a movie poster or DVD or something like that. Just have a look anyway. So that's moviegamenostalgia.com. And of course, if you've got any comments to make about this film, please let me know. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Not much positivity knocking around about this. There is one or two things, but not great. So let me know what you think anyway if you've had time to watch this. And also if you've got no time to comment today, just give us a little thumbs up. It's nice to get views, nice to get thumbs up as well. And please, if you get a chance, have a look through all my playlists. You'll see some stuff on my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if you check the links on screen and do that for me, that'd be wonderful. Right, yes, this is produced by Fable Pictures for Channel 5. And it's actually part financed by Sony Pictures. Yeah, it's going to be distributed internationally by Sony Pictures. And it's actually on My 5 here in the UK. So check your territory if you're outside of the UK. It's on My 5, all 3 episodes until the 2nd of August 2021. It's just been showing on 3 consecutive nights here in the UK. And it's, as I'm recording this, it's just finished yesterday evening. It's classed as a psychological thriller. Apparently told from a new perspective. Hers, Anne of a Thousand Days, wasn't that told from her perspective as a film? But I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. But yeah, it explores Anne's final months as she struggles to secure a future for her daughter. Obviously, her daughter is Elizabeth, of course. I think she became a bit better known, didn't she? And to challenge the powerful patriarchy closing around her prior to her execution by beheading for treason in 1536. Of course, we're going to get Henry VIII, we're going to get all that sort of thing. And it was filmed in location in Castle Howard in Yorkshire. I've been there, a lovely place, back in 2020. It's written by Eve Hedwick Turner and directed by Lindsay Miller, with historian Dan Jones and executive producer. There you go. I have heard of Dan Jones, but I think there's a little bit of dramatic license used in the historical accuracy, etc. on this one. It stars, this is the obviously a lot of people are looking at this and sort of balking a little bit at it, of course. Stars Jodie Turner-Smith as Anne Boleyn, Papa Assidu as George Boleyn, Mark Stanley as Henry VIII, Anna Brewster as Jane Boleyn, Aoife Hines as Princess Mary, Jamel Westman as Edward Seymour, Barry Ward as Thomas Cromwell, and Lola Pettigrew as Jane Seymour. So what's it getting? Obviously, you're going to expect some stick on the casting. Obviously, we're going to get that. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But obviously, if you try and look past that, just look at some of the reviews, etc. But Lucy Mangan for The Guardian was quite funny. This sort of if you're not going to be nice to something, just have a sense of humour and try and be funny. I was always taught, if you're going to buy something somebody and you don't have much money, you don't want it to look cheap. Just buy them something funny. So this sort of summing up from Lucy Mangan, I think, just sort of edges towards that sort of saying, if you like. And she actually put a spoiler alert on the Anne Boleyn review: she won't make it out alive. So I think that's Lucy Mangan's idea. Just rather than saying it's not very good, it's just to actually put a bit of humour in. If you actually do look at the various things, there's not a lot of positivity. Internet Movie Database, it was actually, well, 685 reviews so far, and it's averaging just 1.1 out of 10. So there's not much love out there for this. I mean, the episodes themselves, episode 1 scored 1.9 average, episode 2 scored 2 out of 10 average, and episode 3 scored 2 out of 10 average as well. But there was positivity, as I said. One of the Internet Movie Database reviewers who do HDO Kubo said risky but not bad. Yeah, he thought it was alright. Jodie's for middle actress when you look past all the race stuff. The story has been told countless times with the appropriate race situation. This is just a more modern take on an already told tale of Henry VIII. All the actors and actresses look balanced and act well in this bold production. I think it's unfair to pass this series due to all that race stuff. Look past it and enjoy. Yeah, I understand what he's saying, but again, at the end of the day, if you try to put the characters and who's playing them to one side, it just, again, it just, for me anyway, it certainly fell a little flat. This other Internet Movie Database reviewer, Harlequin, on the 2nd of June wrote, "This is an insult. In this day and age, when why are these people out to completely rewrite a nation's history and completely insult their culture and heritage? There would be riots if this happened to anyone else. I'm downright sick of the inequality, as obviously some are more equal than others when it comes to what we are allowed to be offended by." See, that's the sort of view you're getting. I've tried to ignore that side of it, to be honest with you, and just looked at it as a drama. I do like period dramas, things like the Tudors, and I even go back to Another 1,000 Days many years ago. I watched that as a young boy in a cinema and watched it many times since and really enjoyed it. As I said, this is my little thoughts now, I'm not bothered about Queen Elizabeth the first mum being black. It doesn't bother me. It's a fantasy, classed as a fantasy drama, and license has been used. And though I might think it looks daft, which I do, it looks a little daft in its actual layout, it's the quality and entertainment value that I'm interested in. I'm not worried about who's playing who and what's playing what and whether it's correct or not. The only thing is, from the opening scene, I couldn't really wait for a head to be lobbed off, to be honest with you. What a horrible character. I mean, in all the versions of Anne Boleyn I've seen, all right, she was not perfect. A lot of these people weren't, were they? But obviously they're very up themselves, use modern terms, and very arrogant, etc, etc, etc. But to be honest with you, this sort of, I just wanted her head chopping off straight away. I mean, it's just a horrible, obnoxious character, and even made Henry look quite kind at times. This version of Anne Boleyn, which maybe, you know, as I said, it might be historically accurate, I don't know, but it just didn't actually bode well for me watching the thing. It's fantasy, it is quite shallow as well. The characters are introduced to us in episode 1. It all feels a little bit bland, all these characters. We know the names of, we know James Seymour's, the Cromwells, we know all these characters, but they all felt a little bit bland in this. There's none that's really stood out and sort of grabbed me to sort of, oh, I enjoy, you know, the chemistry didn't quite work for me. And we've seen all this before done far better, which on this subject, which is a great shame. I was hoping for a little touch, to be honest with you, when I saw this advertised of Catherine the Great, which I recently watched, which I really did enjoy, which was so probably historically inaccurate, but as I say, I wanted to be entertained, and I think Channel 4's Catherine the Great was superb. I was hoping there's going to be a little bit of that in this, but there was certainly no dark humour in this, which there was in Catherine the Great, obviously. And by the end of episode 1, I had just wished for a joke or two to be thrown in to liven this thing up, to be honest with you. Episode 2, yeah, Henry finally, of the 3 episodes, I think episode 2 is probably the best one. That doesn't say too much. Henry finally shows his kahunas in episode 2 a little bit, but yeah, so it was a little better than the first one. And Anne's shown some cleverness as she fought to get back in the King's Good books, which I like that little side of it, which is fair, which, you know, you had to play the game in those days, didn't you? But sadly, by episode 3, she'd already been banged up in the tower, and things unfortunately didn't get a lot more interesting in episode 3. The trial was about a 10-minute thing, which obviously was just done and dusted, really, wasn't it? Well, you know, but again, it was just not really anything to sort of get you all excited watching the programme. It just doesn't offer, sadly, it just doesn't offer anything that's not been done before a lot better, to be honest with you. The only interesting thing to the actual series was the casting of Jodie Turner-Smith, of course, in the lead role. That was the only thing of a slight of interest to me. I found most of it quite mundane and boring, to be honest with you. But sadly, even Jodie, given the lines she was given to act out, there's only so much she could do with it, which wasn't very much, unfortunately. I think 1 and 2 out of 10 is a little bit hard harsh. I wouldn't say it was that bad. I mean, if you've never seen any Tudor-related stuff or Henry VIII or Anne Boleyn stuff ever in your life before, then there's something out there you can watch this and sort of, I'll find out a bit more about it, which is what I like to do with these things anyway. But obviously I'm not going to go rush out and find out. I know quite a bit about this anyway, so I'm not going to go out and rush out and see that. But as it is with the wealth of TV and films out there covering this subject in various degrees, this drama just adds absolutely nothing to that. It doesn't add anything to what's out there, and I wouldn't. As I say, I'm glad I watched it, but fortunately it was only probably about, a couple of hours over the 3 episodes, so it's not too much time wasted. But as I say, it doesn't add anything at all to what's already out there. So my score, as I said, I'm not going to go bad as 1 or 2 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10, which isn't very good. I almost didn't give it a rating. Sometimes when they're not that great, I just say, I'm not even going to rate it. It's not worth it. But I will give it a 4 out of 10 for the effort. As I say, some of the acting was okay. They just didn't come out as characters and sort of wow me sort of thing. There's some, I mean, Henry VIII, it just bland. A lot of it was bland, and Anne Boleyn was bland, even though she was a very, very clever, calculating lady, I'd imagine, in real life. But it just came over all very, very bland and horrible, to be honest with you. So I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Let me know what you think anyway. As I said, there are people that have given it a bit higher score, but not many. Most people have given it well below that 4 out of 10. But let me know anyway what you think of Anne Boleyn. A great shame. I do like these sort of things. I was very disappointed, but there you go. They should have gone the Catherine the Great way. They should have gone for a bit more humour and done it that way, I think. But no, never mind. We'll carry on, don't we? Anyway, what we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my Citizen channel, my football channel. I only ever ask you to do one thing. That's stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.